If your inner world is chaotic, even the calmest day will feel like a storm. So let me ask you, are you living through your emotions, or are you in control of them? Have you ever felt like one negative comment can ruin your entire day? Or that one cold stare can make you doubt everything about yourself? We've all been there, swept away by emotions like a leaf caught in a storm. But then, there are those people. They stay calm in chaos. They smile through criticism. Have you ever wondered, how do they do it, and why can't I? What sets apart the fragile from the unshakable? The answer lies in one thing: inner strength. Having a strong mind doesn't mean you never feel pain. It means you rise faster each time you fall. In today's video, we'll explore 5 mindset shifts that will help you stay calm, bounce back, and take back your power. Are you ready to reclaim your inner peace? Let's begin. Many people think being mentally strong means never crying, never complaining, never showing weakness. But the truth is, it's the exact opposite. Mental strength isn't about not having emotions. It's about being able to feel deeply without being ruled by what you feel. I once knew a woman who lost a loved one in a sudden accident. She cried. She broke down. She felt the weight of grief. But instead of hiding her pain, she allowed herself to feel it. And through that, she began to heal with kindness toward her own heart. No pretending. No pushing it down. Just a brave soul learning to rise from the cracks. And what about you? Are you honest with your emotions? Or are you forcing yourself to be strong the way others expect you to? A strong mind isn't hard like steel. It's soft like water, flexible, compassionate, yet powerful enough to move through anything. The small lesson here is this: begin by giving yourself permission to feel without judgment. Because sometimes the real strength begins with acceptance. And once you truly understand what mental strength is, you'll be ready to explore what is and isn't in your control. There's one truth you and I both know. We can't control everything in life. We can't control whether it rains or shines today. We can't control if people like us or not. And we definitely can't control what they say behind our backs. But there's one thing we always have power over: how we respond. I once watched a colleague get publicly criticized by his boss during a meeting. Everyone expected him to lash out, argue, or storm off. But instead, he stayed calm. He nodded, took a breath, and went back to work. Later, I asked him if he felt hurt. He smiled and said, "Of course I did. But if I react emotionally, I lose clarity. If I listen, I might learn something." The lesson is simple. You don't always get to choose the situation, but you always get to choose your response. And when you choose calmness over chaos, you reclaim your power. You stop being a victim of your circumstances and become the author of your story. And once you can control your reactions, you're ready to build something even more powerful: your ability to bounce back after life knocks you down. The truth is, no one gets through life without falling down. But what matters isn't if you fall. It's how fast you rise again. That's resilience. It's like a spring. You can be pushed down, but if you're strong within, you'll bounce right back. I remember a close friend of mine who went through a painful breakup after 7 years. It felt like a part of her life had been ripped away. But instead of shutting down or becoming bitter, she chose to learn meditation. She wrote in a journal every day, and slowly she began to heal, bit by bit. The lesson is simple. Resilience doesn't mean you don't feel pain. It means you don't stay stuck in it for too long. Ask yourself this: every time you fall, how long does it take for you to rise again? And what do you do in that space? Dwell in resentment or move toward healing? When you build an inner system that knows how to bounce back, you stop fearing failure. Because deep down you know, even if I fall, I can rise again. And to build that kind of strength, you'll need mental clarity, a mind that sees clearly what's real and what's just a passing thought. Think about this. How many times have you believed a negative thought and ended up hurting yourself? I'm not good enough. They probably hate me. I'm going to fail again. These are just clouds passing through the sky of your mind. But sometimes we mistake them for truth, letting them guide our emotions and shape our entire reality. I once had a student who was incredibly smart, but he always said, "I'm not smart enough to do this." I asked him why he thought that. He said, "Because I failed one exam in 5th grade. Since then, I felt like a failure." One moment in the past had created a false belief, and it kept looping in his mind like a broken tape. The lesson is this: not every thought is true, and you don't have to believe everything your mind says. The mind is like a radio. Sometimes it plays beautiful music, other times it's just static noise. Your job is to choose the right frequency. And once you gain the clarity to tell the difference between truth and illusion, between reason and impulsive emotion, you'll begin to love yourself more fully, not with pretty words but with healthy emotional boundaries. There's something most of us were never taught growing up. You have the right to not absorb other people's negativity. Setting emotional boundaries doesn't make you selfish. It means you protect your inner world from what's not healthy. I remember a former colleague who would often unload her anger on me. Whenever she had a bad day with her boss or family, I became her emotional dumping ground. At first I thought, maybe I should be more understanding. But over time I started feeling drained, anxious, and uneasy, until one day I gently said, "I really care about you, but I've noticed that after our conversations I often feel emotionally exhausted. I need some space to protect my peace." She was surprised, quiet. But from that moment on, everything shifted. The lesson is this: you are not a trash bin for someone else's emotional clutter. Self-love isn't isolation. It's the strength to say no to what hurts you. Emotional boundaries are a sign of compassion, for others and for yourself. And once you learn to protect your peace, you no longer need people to treat you right just to feel okay, because you've learned to build that safety within. And from that quiet, protected space, you'll be ready for the final and most powerful shift: how to stay grounded in a world that constantly changes. Life is always changing. That's the one thing we can truly count on. Today may feel peaceful. Tomorrow might bring a storm. Someone who once loved you might walk away. A job that felt secure might disappear overnight. But in the midst of all this uncertainty, there is one thing that can keep you from being swept away: inner steadiness. I once met a 70-year-old man during a spring meditation retreat. Rain or shine, he would sit under a tree each morning, still, calm, unshaken. I asked him, "How are you always so peaceful?" He smiled and gently pointed to his chest. "Because in here, nothing moves anymore." The lesson is this: the world may shake, but you don't have to shake with it. If you practice daily, keeping your mind clear, bouncing back from pain, setting loving boundaries, and protecting your energy, you're building a home within yourself, a space no one else can touch or take away. And in that space you no longer live in fear, but in quiet freedom, because those with strong minds don't need the world to be calm in order to be at peace. Thank you for staying with me until the very end of this video. If something I shared resonated with you, if there was a moment that made you nod, breathe easier, or feel just a little more grounded, then I believe you're already on your way back to yourself. And that is a beautiful journey. If you found this helpful, please consider hitting the like button to support the channel. Subscribe if you'd like to join me in future healing conversations. And leave a comment. I read every word and your thoughts truly matter. May you always have the strength to weather any storm, and the softness to love yourself through it all.